You know, I was thinking about something the other day. I don't think the outdoors changed me. I think the outdoors reminds me who I was before life got so loud. Growing up, we didn't have what kids have now. We didn't have somebody texting us every 10 minutes asking where we were. We didn't have a phone in our pocket all day. My grandma had one rule: when the streetlights came on, you better be home. That was it. Until then, we were outside. We built clubhouses, we walked through the woods, we rode our bikes, we found creeks, we got dirty, we made memories. Nobody was worried about getting the perfect picture. Nobody was worried about posting it online. We were just living. And looking back, I think that's one of the biggest gifts I was ever given. Even growing up in the city, I wanted to be outside. If somebody said they wanted to go fishing, I was in. If somebody wanted to go walk through the woods, let's go. I didn't care if we caught anything. I didn't care if we found anything. I just wanted to be out there. I remember the first time I ever really tried fishing by myself. I didn't have a fishing rod. I didn't have fancy gear. Honestly, I barely had anything. I had a piece of wire, a hook, some cheap bait. That was my setup. I walked out there anyway because I wanted to learn. Nobody was teaching me. Nobody was standing there telling me what to do. I was just figuring it out, and somehow I caught the weirdest fish I'd ever seen. At that age, I thought it looked like a piranha. I didn't know what it was. I wanted to keep it. Then I realized I didn't even have pliers. I had to fight to get the hook out. Finally got it loose, dropped the line, lost everything. If that happened today, some people would probably call it a bad day. I don't. Because that day I realized it wasn't about the fish. It was about being out there. It was about the quiet. It was about figuring out something on my own. It was about feeling free. And I didn't even realize that's what I was feeling at the time. Years went by, life happened, bills happened, responsibilities happened, work happened, like they do for everybody. Then somewhere around 2017 to or 2018, I think, I don't remember, I got invited to go hunting for the first time. I'd never hunted before. Didn't even own a rifle. I was the new guy. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to learn. That morning changed something. I remember sitting there, listening to the wind, listening to the birds, hearing squirrels make enough noise to convince you a giant buck was walking in. And for the first time in a long time, my brain got quiet. I wasn't thinking about work. I wasn't thinking about money. I wasn't thinking about tomorrow. I was paying attention to what was happening right in front of me. Watching the woods wake up. Watching nature do what nature does. Eventually, a little 5-point buck came out. It wasn't some giant trophy. It wasn't something people would put on the cover of a magazine. It was my first deer. The shot wasn't perfect. I was learning. The processor helped me with the meat because I had no idea what I was doing. But that wasn't the lesson I took home. The lesson was this. For a few hours, life stopped yelling. Nobody needed anything from me. Nobody was calling. Nobody was texting. Nobody cared what I did for a living. The woods didn't ask me for anything. They just let me be there. And ever since then, I understand why I keep going back. People ask me all the time, why do you hunt? Why do you fish? Honestly, it's bigger than hunting. It's bigger than fishing. It's where I remember who I am. That's why I always make the joke that my therapist tells me to stare at tree lines. And my counselor tells me to throw the hooks into the water. People laugh, but I'm serious. That's where I reset. Maybe your place isn't a deer blind. Maybe it's a boat. Maybe it's your garage. Maybe it's your motorcycle. Maybe it's your garden. Maybe it's sitting on the back porch before the rest of the world wakes up. Everybody needs a place where life gets quiet. If you don't have one, go find one. Because this world has gotten really good at keeping us busy, but not very good at helping us slow down. That's one reason I started this channel. I love hunting, I love fishing, but more than that, I love what those things have given me. Perspective, patience, peace. And if one person watches these videos and decides to spend a little more time outside, I'd call it a win. So now I've got a question for you. When was the last time you did something that made you completely lose track of time? Not because you were scrolling, because you were actually living. I'd really like to know. Leave it down in the comments. I read them. And if you're on this journey with me, I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.